Welcome to my channel. I'm Liz. Today I'll be crocheting the hungry caterpillar and all the fruit and desserts that it consumes in the book. I originally got this idea on TikTok by a creator called Mallory on the Moon. Someone gifted her a cute crochet caterpillar with all the food, and I was like, wow, that is such a cute gift. I want to make it for who? My cousin's baby is turning 1 on Saturday. I haven't gotten her a gift, so I was like, wow, I need to hustle and I need to crochet this for her, and she's gonna love it. Not only is it gonna be cute and made with love, but it's gonna be interactive. It's gonna help her learn. She's going to learn to like books at a young age. She's gonna learn her fruits and desserts. She's gonna learn her colors. She's going to learn like textures of crochet. I don't know. She can also use the fruit as just kitchen play food, you know? So I think it's gonna be so cute. We're gonna get started. There are Etsy patterns or patterns online that you could purchase. However, I wanna find everything free online. I feel like there's so many free patterns on Pinterest, on YouTube. And so that's what I'm going to do. I will link everything that I've used in the description in case you want to join me.
I'm starting off with the apple. I have learned that it is better to yarn under than yarn over when making amigurumi because it makes the stitches tight and closer together. And that's what you want when you're making 3D objects. It took me some time getting used to yarning under, but it is definitely worth it. For the apple, I am following a 3D sphere free pattern. Basically, you just increase until you like the width, then add some rows for the length, and lastly decrease to close the sphere. I use bobby pins as stitch markers. I find them affordable and easy to use. I have purchased cute stitch markers in the past, but honestly I prefer bobby pins. I find attaching them to my work is faster compared to actual stitch markers. With bobby pins, I just slide them in my work, and stitch markers usually have a clasp that you have to unclip and reclip, and when I'm working in a short round, I don't want to waste time clipping and unclipping. Also, most people already have bobby pins, so it saves you a trip to the store. To give the apple a more natural shape, I leave a long tail and insert the needle down the middle of the apple to the other side and pull. As I pull, the bottom center of the apple is being pulled up and creating more of an apple shape rather than looking like a ball. I then bring the needle back down to where I started and pull, and another indent is being made at the top this time. All I have to do now is weave off the end and add a stem and a leaf to give it the finished look. I finished the apple. It looks so adorable. So the next thing in the book is the pear. I have these two greens. I'm gonna do it this green and then add a stem like this one.
I finished the pears. I am so proud of my work. I will say that my thumb hurts because of the cotton yarn. It's just so hard on my hands. I also use metal hooks, but that has never been an issue. I think it's the yarn because I always use metal hooks with acrylic yarn and my fingers don't hurt, but it's just my thumb. It's like digging into it. And that's why I attached this like pencil cushion. I have seen in the past that some people use beauty blenders and they just like shove them on and it's easier for them. So I think I'll do that because this is way too big for my hook and it's like it keeps sliding. For the plums in the book, tell me why they look blue. They look like blueberries. I want to make them purple. I have 3 purples. This is cotton purple. This is another cotton. It looks indigo. It looks more appropriate, but this is all I have. I'm not gonna have enough. And then I have acrylic purple. I think we're gonna have to go with this one because I originally was gonna do the indigo purple, but look, they look like blueberries because they're so small, and that I can only make them this small if I want to use up all this yarn. I want to make them bigger because they look ridiculous. So acrylic it is for the plums.
So these are what my plums are looking like. I gave them a nice little book crack, and I want to show you how to do it. So I did a circle, just a regular circle. I already closed it up. So I'm just going to bring this up and insert my hook wherever I want. I'm gonna do it right here. And then I'm gonna bring this back. Over here.
and pull my yarn. And I'm gonna keep pulling it, and it's gonna start making that indentation. And there we have it. How adorable. This is the only book crack I ever want to see. This is what it's looking like so far. It's so satisfying seeing it all come together. I do want to take a break. It's 7:20 p.m. Afterwards, I do want to do 4 strawberries. That's the next step. And I think that's all I want to do for the rest of the day. And tomorrow we'll continue with the oranges. It is the next day. I was able to complete the 4 strawberries. So today I have to make 5 oranges. I already made one. I started out with brown and then I switched it back to orange. Just made a simple sphere. I have a feeling that as I make the next 4, it's gonna take up the rest of my day just because it does take a while, but we'll see if I can start on the dessert later on at night. It is day 3 and I have all my oranges complete. However, I only did 3 yesterday and I finished the 2 this morning. So I only did 3 because my arm started hurting so bad from all the way to my elbow. So I just stopped. It started hurting around 3 p.m. So I was taking it easy, and then at 9 p.m. I felt I had no pain and I was like, wow, like I'm healed. But I rested for the rest of the day until today. And it's weird because I crochet with my right, but it was my left that was hurting. I guess it's like I don't know, like the motion of like holding the yarn through your hands. I have finished all the fruit portion of the book. Now I have to make a chocolate cake. These are the colors that I will be using. So the cake is a cube shaped. I have never crocheted a cube before that I can remember. I definitely am pulling up a cube pattern on Pinterest. I'll link it below.
For the cake, I didn't follow the pattern completely. You can see that the bottom is a square, but as I started the length portion, I didn't really take the time to read or comprehend the written pattern. My cube looks more round than squared off. I kind of just skimmed the pattern, and when I realized my cake wasn't very cubed, well, I didn't want to redo it because I was trying to finish this project before my deadline. It's not the most horrendous thing ever, so it'll do. But if I did have more time, I definitely would redo it and do it correctly. I made a tiny ball for the top of the cake. I'm assuming this is supposed to be a cherry. It really ties everything together, giving it the completed look. Next, I started the ice cream cone. I ended up shoving a beauty blender on my hook to relieve some of the pain on my thumb. I could feel a difference on the pain level. I also followed a free pattern for the ice cream cone. However, I did make mine a bit shorter than the pattern. Once you are comfortable with crocheting, it becomes easy to adjust patterns to your needs. When I just started crocheting, I wasn't confident enough to crochet without patterns. I also think that has to do with my Virgo brain and wanting things done perfectly. The pickle I freehanded. I started with increases until I thought it would be a good spot to add length. I added some bobble stitches randomly throughout wherever I saw fit, then decreased when I was ready to finish it off. Looking at it completed, I would have made it a couple rows longer, but I'm not mad about it. I also freehanded the slice of cheese. I chained as many as I thought would look good for the width of the slice, then single crocheted down the chain. I chained one and flipped my work for a couple of rows. Then I started a row with double crochet because I wanted to make a hole. And if I used single crochets, the hole would have been too short. To make the hole, I chained 2, skipped 2 stitches, and continued with double crochets down the row. At the end of the row, I wanted to make a missing piece, so I stopped 2 stitches before the row ended and chained 3. Flipped my work and made single crochets down the row. I continued to use these techniques throughout the slice of cheese to get the desired look. For the slice of salami, I didn't want to do the whole salami like the book because of my deadline. So I just did a slice and I felt like it was fine because the book says a slice of salami, not a whole salami. Honestly, I looked out. For the salami, I aligned a red and a light pink piece of yarn next to each other and created a circle. I felt the mix gave more of an authentic look. Then for the border, I only used the red. I wasn't able to record the making of the last 4 desserts, which included the lollipop, sausage, cupcake, and slice of watermelon. This is because the next day I worked. I crocheted on my break and at home. I just didn't film it because I was feeling the pressure of having to hurry and finish this gift for the birthday party. I ended up freehanding the lollipop and the sausage and followed patterns for the other 3 foods. I would say the pie was the most interesting to make. Seeing how many pieces it takes to construct it and how to sew them all together was fun to learn.
So the party is tomorrow. Let me show you what I have before we freak out a little bit, okay? So this is looking nice. It's looking luscious. It's looking like it's complete. We're almost there. So I finished all the fruit like I showed. I did finish most of the dessert. I still need to complete the cupcake and the leaf. So that's not too bad, right? Let me show you my pride and joys. Cherry ice cream? No, cherry. Cherry? This is clearly strawberry. Strawberry ice cream? Delicious. This would look cute if it was like, had more ice cream on top, but who has the time? I'm going for the look of the book. Lollipop? This is adorable. So I basically did a circle, both sides, and then I did what is it called? Slip surfacing. Crochet surface. Slip stitch surface. Surface crochet. I think it's called surface crochet of the technique when you slip stitch on top. I don't know. I have to look it up. I forgot. Oh my gosh, the watermelon, I think is my favorite. It's just so bright compared to everything else. Everything else looks dull to me. This is cute. I've never made watermelon before. Sausage, my pride and joy. I added wire in here so that it's bendable, or else it would have just been straight, and I've thought, like, that's boring. Pie. I think this looks bland. I think I need to add a little white whipping cream. I don't know if I have time. As you can see, I'm over here stressing. The rest, I think you've seen. Oh, a pickle. I do think I made this a little too short. I added bobble stitches. So in the cupcake in the book, it looks like a muffin. It looks bland. It looks disgusting. It looks flavorless. And I couldn't have my cupcake looking like that. So I had to, give it a little personality. We made it a chocolate cupcake with white frosting. This is the cutest cupcake I have ever seen. The pattern, 10/10 recommend. Then I did blue base, just like the book. I really like how it has like a 3D texture to it, so I do just need to attach them. The caterpillar is like the biggest one yet. So all of the food has been made for the most part with single crochets so that it's tight, it's closed, you can't see the stuffing inside. The caterpillar, I can't do that for single crochet. I can't do single crochets for the caterpillar. That would take ages. So I'm doing double crochets, because I don't mind if it's a little holy since the food's going inside of it. It's not stuffing. So I've done this so far today. I'm basically just seeing how this goes. I'm not quite sure how long I want it. I just want it long enough that this looks nice and stuffed, not too like overstuffed, not too loose. I just want it perfect. Is that too much to ask for?
On my break at work, I had planned to finish the body of the caterpillar, but as I was working on it, I felt like the base was way too wide and I didn't have the food to measure it to make sure. So I started a smaller one and I waited till I got home to double check. I was able to see that the large one is way too big and it almost fits all the food with it being that wide and short already. The smaller one is perfect in size, so I just continued to add length to it. I tried making each green section lumpy and round. I would decrease the last 2 rows of each color and increase in the beginning of the first 2 rows of each color. My intention isn't quite visible though. I probably had to add more decreases and increases than I actually did. Overall, it's fine though. I added a section of red for the head and decreased more to only leave a hole for the mouth. The face details really make the caterpillar come to life. My final thoughts are this project is insanely adorable. It almost pains me to give it away. I am relieved I got this gift done right on time. If I could do anything different, I would get cotton yarn for the plums instead of acrylic. I would redo the chocolate cake to make it more cubed shape. I would add whipping cream to the pie, and I would make the pickle longer. With that being said, I am still proud of my work. I just think we are our own worst critic. That's the end of this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. I included the links to the free patterns I used in the description. Please like and subscribe. You can find me in my other social media platforms, Instagram and TikTok. I'll see you later.